my own position on tipping has radically changed. I used to be a big tipper. I used to be where I don't want to tip anyone anymore. And
tipping in America has reached a boiling point for many people. This guy, Matt Walsh, some of you will know who he is, some of you will not, talked about that and gives his reasons as to why he doesn't tip, and he used to, and how he's completely against it. I'm going to play some clips. I'm going to give you my opinion on why he is completely wrong about his reasoning. Stay tuned.
Tipping 20% at a sit-down restaurant is still the standard, according to most etiquette experts in the U.S. The tipping is falling. People are tipping less. Some restaurant owner apparently posted this message, which says, directed at her customers, which says, "We expect you to tip 20% minimum. That's the end of the story, period. The number is even printed right there on the check, so you don't have to do any math. When you walk in the door, you enter into a covenant. If you feel any kind of way about this other than 100% accepting, you should stay home. Invest in your own sound system, get some nice glassware, install dimmers on your kitchen lights, put on some candles, and make your own cocktails. I won't say that you should go elsewhere because 20% is the minimum expected tip in bars and restaurants all over this city, and your feelings about the fact are irrelevant. And if you're uncomfortable with a woman having the agency to explain any of this to you, again, stay home." Go ahead and go buck wild in the comments if you feel the need. So this attitude, by the way, is part. We hear about the tip fatigue. This is part of the reason. I have been radicalized on this. I have been, my own position on tipping has radically changed. I mean, I used to be a big tipper. I used to be, in there where I don't want to tip anyone anymore. And I used to be 20% at a minimum, 20%, it's like, that's almost a maximum. Now your baseline is 0 and you got to earn the tip. Everyone wants a tip now, everywhere you go. So it's fine. You want to put tipping prompts everywhere now, everywhere you go, whether you're going to a restaurant or you're going to a grocery store or you're going to the dentist. And now everyone wants a tip. Fine, I can't stop that. But my approach to everybody, including the restaurants, is that you really got to earn it. Give me a reason. And if you're in the service industry and you don't like that, well, honestly, you have your own industry to blame.
So tell me what you guys think. What do you guys think about what he's saying? Matt Walsh is a pretty measured dude. He's not always right. He's not always wrong. None of us really are, but he's pretty smart. I think sometimes it comes across as arrogance and cockiness and a little bit of like he's like better than everybody, but it is what it is. Okay? No hate. But when it comes to this, he's not. I'll start off with what he's not wrong about. He's not wrong that everybody seems to want a tip now. So like when everybody wants one, like who really should get one? I think you mentioned, should I tip my dentist or my doctor, or should I tip this guy or that? I get it. Everybody's, you pour one little black coffee and they want a tip for that iPad. It's like, it's crazy. I totally understand it. But when he's talking about everybody starts at 0 now, when I go out to eat, it's a 0. So you got to work your way up from there. Okay, you got to earn a tip. Nothing necessarily wrong with that. But in this community, okay, Matt, you cannot say tipping is just completely, you're against it all the time now. You can't say that. It's an ignorant comment. This is why. Ever since tipping has become a thing in America, and a lot of people are against it, but it is what it is here. And if you know the history of it, you know the history of it. It didn't start off very well. It wasn't a good thing, and why it was implemented and how it took advantage of certain people, okay? But in some ways, we're still doing that. Because people that are entering a service job where tips are a thing, where the company's not paying them a fair wage, these are low income people. You're either low income and you're struggling and that's why you're doing the job, or you're somebody that wants to aspire to be a Matt Walsh, right? And you're paying your way through college, right? Just to keep the lights on, and you'll do this job for a few years. Many people do that. So how are we, Matt Walsh, going to basically take a big dump on the lower class individuals doing these kind of work? Bringing you food delivery, bringing you a steak at a steakhouse that you don't need. How are we going to crap on those people when they're already being crapped on by society as a whole a lot and or their employer? So now you're going to say because the barista wants to tip and this guy wants to tip, and because you're fed up, you just say, nope, I'm not tipping at all. And you're going to be a disrespectful dude, kind of an a-hole, and not tip your food delivery person because you're just against it. I don't like it, so I'm just not going to do it. Even though that person's marginally employed and they're bringing you something you don't need, but something that you want. They're doing a service in their car. Mr. Matt Walsh, you could not be more wrong. In a time when things are crazy and people are struggling, we have people, entitled people, that want things delivered to their homes or brought to them on a silver platter, or maybe even a Starbucks coffee when you can make coffee in your own. You are now going to crap upon the people doing a service for you that you could do on your own. I want you to think about that for a second. You're trying to basically say, well, this is wrong, so I'm going to do something else wrong and ignorant because I don't like that this is being done to me, when you don't have to order DoorDash. You don't have to order Uber Eats. And Matt Walsh, if you're somebody sitting in your office before you recorded that video and was like, you know what? Hey, guys, I want some Dunkin' Donuts. We need some coffee. We need some donuts. And if you ordered on that Uber Eats, DoorDash app, Grubhub app, and you didn't tip your driver, you suck. You're miserable. And I'm going to keep calling people out like you, regardless if you've got 1 million subscribers and $1 million in the bank. If you think it's okay to crap upon the people that are working less kind of jobs than you, and you can't have a little bit of grace and understanding, I can't rock with you, man. You're wrong. And you're not wrong a lot. I think you're a smart guy. But on this topic, just because Americans are fed up with the tipping, and I get it, you blame the service industry. You're blaming us for this. Okay? You're blaming us because we are somehow entitled and we feel like we want this or we want that, or we're asking too much of you. We're not all like that, though. You're lumping all of us in the same pool. And based on other things I've watched, you're not that kind of guy. So it's a little hypocritical for you to lump all of us tip persons in the same realm. We just want respect. We're driving our cars as food delivery drivers, Matt Walsh, and we're bringing you something, and we don't want to be paid less than minimum wage for that. In some cases, if there's a toll complex where we have to park or whatever, and depending on the pay, if it's $2, we're losing money. We haven't paid our taxes yet. We haven't paid anything, our fuel. So, Mr. Matt Walsh, you probably won't see this video. I will attribute you and give you credit in the description. But if you're somebody that doesn't tip your food delivery driver, you're not a very kind human being. And we do need more of that. I'm not a feelings kind of dude. Like, I'm not like everybody's this and no. I take a hard stance on personal responsibility, accountability. Everybody can get up and figure it out. But it's people like you that don't leave a tip and don't have kindness and practice ignorance and lump all of the service industry together, and now you're just like, I'm done. Then if you're done, start doing these services yourself, and maybe you have been. If you go out to eat and you get good service, you should tip. But don't go in there saying I'm starting at 0 and you're gonna work your way up, and like you're like a guy that's like gonna put a 20 on the table, and every time they don't do something, you take away $5. That's just stupid. It's silly. Having the reality of knowing what these companies are paying us, and then you doing business with that company, and in return, you're going to put the blame and the onus on us instead of just not doing business with the company that's the bad guy. Matt Walsh, you're smarter than that. I expect more from you. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. The dog's barking behind me. That's my cue. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
And if you're in the service industry and you don't like that, well, honestly, you have your own industry to blame.
If you like this video or others, check out this one here. Consider hitting subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments.